What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I've got a couple of articles for you guys today. I got two stories because there's a lot of news today coming in. So let's go ahead and get into this right quick. Supreme Court's conservative justices leave in place Virginia's purge of voter registrations. Now, this happens to be a story we've been covering a lot recently because it's been going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. This has been one of the craziest stories I think I've ever heard in my entire life. Virginia found a bunch of non-citizens on their voter rolls, so they go ahead and pick out all these non-citizens and purge them from the voter rolls and get them out of there. Not only, it wasn't really a purge because they notified every single one of these people, hey, you're being removed because you ticked the box that said you're a non-citizen. You are being removed because you said you're a non-citizen. That is why you're being removed. You have X amount of days to re-register as a voter because Virginia has same-day registration, so they said you can also come on election day if you would like, register to vote, and prove you're a citizen, and boom. No issues whatsoever. But that wasn't enough for the Department of Justice. The Department of Justice sued Virginia, and an appeals court forced them to put those non-citizens back on the voter rolls. Now, I talked about a video, I think it was the day before yesterday, maybe it was yesterday, I'm not sure, about that appeals court forcing them to put Now, they are coming back. They went to the Supreme Court with it, and now the Supreme Court says, no, this is ridiculous. Non-citizens don't need to be on the voter rolls. Put them back on. Check it out. And, the AP, this is a Associated Press article, so they're coming in saying, conservative majority in the Supreme Court. Like, come on, it's just the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court's conservative majority on Wednesday left in place Virginia's purge of voter registrations that the state says is aimed at stopping people who are not U.S. citizens from voting. One Virginian whose registration was canceled despite living in the state her entire life called the purge a very bad October surprise. What? Like, they're getting rid of non-citizens. If you happen to be, just that out of touch with everything, that's how I'm going to phrase it. I'm not going to be mean to these people, but if you tick a box that says you're a non-citizen and you actually are a citizen, it's your own fault for getting booted from the voter rolls. I'm sorry. That's just a bonehead maneuver. It's not very smart to do. The High Court, over the dissents of the three liberal justices, granted an emergency appeal from Virginia's Republican administration led by Governor Glenn Youngkin. The court provided no rationale for its action, which is typical in emergency appeals. So what was the point of that entire sentence? I don't understand these people. The justices acted on Virginia's appeal after a federal judge found that the state illegally purged more than 1,600 voter registrations in the past 2 months. A federal appeals court had previously allowed the judge's order to remain in effect. The specter of immigrants voting illegally has been a main part of the political messaging this year from former President Donald Trump and other Republicans, even though such voting is rare in American elections. But apparently, due to the stories that we've covered, non-citizens being on the voter rolls is not rare, is it, Associated Press? No, it's not rare at all. We've seen non-citizens purged from voter rolls in like 20-something states. Yeah, I think it's 20-something states. I forget the exact number right off top. But they found like 8,000 in Texas, 4,000 in Missouri, 3,000 in Georgia, 6,000 in Virginia. And shall I go on with that? It's like, come on, Associated Press. Like, it's so easy for a non-citizen who is on the voter rolls for them to vote. It just slipped right under the radar. For you to come out there and say it's rare, there shouldn't be any. Like, why are you trying to cover up for this by saying, it's rare? Like, it should be unacceptable. Any at all should be unacceptable. But they're trying to make you think, it's rare, it doesn't happen. They're just being ridiculous over here. Trump had criticized the earlier ruling, calling it a totally unacceptable travesty on social media. Only U.S. citizens should be allowed to vote, Trump wrote. Youngkin said voters who believe they were improperly removed from the voter rolls can still vote in the election because Virginia has same-day registration. And so there is the ultimate safeguard in Virginia. No one is being precluded from voting, and therefore I encourage every single citizen go vote, Youngkin told reporters. And what they left out of this is that Youngkin also made the election officials notify every single person that was purged from the voter rolls, to notify these people that they were being removed from the voter rolls due to them ticking a box that said they were a non-citizen when they went to the DMV last. The Associated Press left that out. I don't know why. I mean, wouldn't you think that's pertinent information? Wouldn't that go to making this make more sense? That, hey, we took you off the voter rolls, but we're going to send you a notification. It's not just Glenn Youngkin just saying, oh, well, they can register the same day. Well, they didn't know they were purged from the voter rolls. You see what the games and the manipulation the corporate press plays. They just love to manipulate everything, it seems like. Leave out pertinent information all over the place, and that pisses me off. That option was noted also by the campaign of Vice President Kamala Harris, the Democratic nominee for the White House, as if we don't know that. The National Voter Registration Act requires a 90-day quiet period ahead of elections for the maintenance of voter rolls so that legitimate voters are not removed from the rolls by bureaucratic errors or last-minute mistakes that cannot be quickly corrected. Youngkin issued his order on August 7th, the 90th day before the November 5th election. It required daily checks of data from the State Department of Motor Vehicles against voter rolls to identify people who are not U.S. citizens. Protect Democracy, one of the groups that brought the lawsuit, cited media interviews with other voters as showing that the Youngkin administration's purge has removed U.S. citizens from the voter rolls. Once again, like I was saying, if you tick the wrong box when you go to the DMV, if you say you're a non-citizen, like, you shouldn't really be mad that you got booted. Plus, you also got notification in the mail that, hey, you were kicked off because you made a bonehead maneuver. One example is Nadra Wilson, who lives in Lynchburg, Virginia, and told NPR she got swept up in the purge. I was born in Brooklyn, New York. I'm a citizen, Wilson said, before showing her American passport as proof of her citizenship. Project Democracy said in a statement that this program removes eligible voters. Yeah, eligible voters that said that they were non-citizens. Like, come on, Associated Press. Why are you trying to skew the facts here? Virginia has not presented any evidence of non-citizens participating in elections because there is none, and it's actually eligible VA voters that have been caught in the middle of this election subversion scheme. Hang on there, Project Democracy. What are you talking about? Like, if these people are boneheaded enough to tick the wrong box, hey, don't get mad about this, but hang on. We know for a fact that when that original story came out, Virginia had purged, 6,300 non-citizens from the voter rolls. How come then the Court of Appeals only reapplied 1,300 of those 6,300? That's 5,000 people. That's 5,000 non-citizens on the voter rolls. Now, if you're a non-citizen and you get put on the voter rolls and you go vote and they don't catch it, how is there going to be any evidence that a non-citizen voted? And how would anybody know otherwise? I'm just saying. Like, these people don't think about stuff like this. Like, if you're on the voter rolls and you vote, that's normal. That is very normal, and we know for a fact that they've been registering non-citizens to vote as a matter of fact. I know I said that twice, but it doesn't matter. But these people want you to believe. They're trying to twist the narrative here and say it never happens. Well, just because it doesn't get caught doesn't mean it doesn't happen. Because once again, like I said, if somebody is on the voter rolls and votes, that's a very normal thing. It's not going to get caught. U.S. District Judge Patricia Giles said election officials still could remove names on an individualized basis, but not through a systematic purge, which is what Virginia done. It was an individualized basis. It was based upon people ticking a box that said they were non-citizens. This is something else that the AP keeps conflating. That this is some kind of list maintenance or something like that. No, this is not voter roll purging. I mean, it kind of is, but it's not the regular list maintenance voter roll purging. Put it that way. This is individualized specifically. Giles had ordered the state to notify affected voters and local registrars by Wednesday that registrations have been restored. Virginia's deadline to register to vote was October 15th, but since 2022, the state has allowed same-day registration, which allows people to register to vote in person and immediately submit a provisional ballot after the deadline to register has passed. The State Department of Elections does not remove names from the voting rolls after the October 15th deadline unless they are names of deceased people. Nearly 6 million Virginians are registered to vote. Yes. And, you know, this is something I love about the Associated Press. They just don't want to give you all the information. Why is that? I wonder why they don't want to give you all the information. Right, we covered a video the other day with Glenn Youngkin come out, and he was being grilled by Jake Tapper. Right? Oh, how do you know these people ticked a box? Because they ticked a box. They went to the DMV. That's the box they checked. And we cross-referenced the voter registrations with the DMV and found on their records that, yes, they ticked that box. And Jake Tapper's like, well, you're purging citizens from the voter rolls. Just totally ignored it. It was like insane. It was like, what are you trying to say here, Jake Tapper? Oh, well, why not just adhere to the Voter Registrations Act? Blah, 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 blah. It's like, come on, dude. He kept telling him it is individualized. These people claim they self-identified as non-citizens by ticking that box. Like, I'm really sorry to these people out there. Like, any Democrats that may be watching this video, any Republicans that may be watching this video, if you ticked the box that said you're a non-citizen, you don't deserve to vote, to be honest with you. Because what if you tick the wrong box? What if you're a Kamala Harris supporter and you accidentally vote for Donald Trump? You don't want to do that, do you? It just blows my mind, the logic of some of these people. Oh, hang on, non-citizens don't vote. Well, it's rare, it's rare. Yeah, see, at first, it doesn't happen at all. Then it was rare, and now it's, how dare you remove non-citizens from the voter rolls 90 days before the election? That's illegal. Hang on. What? They're not supposed to be on the voter rolls in the first place. So what's the problem with taking them off? And that's what the Supreme Court says. Yeah, they gotta come back off. I'm sorry, that's logic. That's base logic. You can't argue with that. If you want to argue with it, let me know down in the comments. I know I promised you guys that I was going to cover 2 articles, but I've went a little bit long with this one, so I'm going to make another video, a 3rd video. So yeah, I normally don't make 3 videos, in case you didn't know, but I'm going to go ahead and cut this one a little bit short, I guess, if you will, because my normal videos run about 20 minutes, and this one's not quite there, so y'all let me know what y'all think about all this down in the comment section, and y'all do me a big favor and smash that like button for me. Subscribe to this channel if you're not already subscribed, and share this video anywhere and everywhere you can. And y'all try to have a good day and stay legitical. Peace.